Okay, so for the little pants that this sculpture is going to be wearing, I'm going to cut a couple of little slits, and notice that I'm cutting them on the front. Okay, it's on this this front area, because the legs are not coming out from the base, but from the front of the body. Okay, just like that. Now, I've mentioned before that this is knit fabric, and so it unravels quite easily. I mean, it's falling apart right now. So in order to kind of secure the edges, what I'm going to do is a blanket stitch. And I'm going to go ahead and use the purple. And this is a decorative blanket stitch. I'm going to go down far enough that the knit fabric is caught. Okay, so then I make the thread go like this. I have a big loop around the top, and then I'm going to go in not far from my first stitch. So I'm actually coming up through this loop again. Oh, that's not right. Okay, so I'm making a loop like so, and then I'm coming up not far from that first stitch. Okay, and I'm not pulling these stitches super tight, okay, because I don't want them, I'm not holding anything with them, I'm just creating a decorative border and kind of reinforcing this edge. If you accidentally end up not with a blanket stitch but you've missed the loop, just take your needle and go back under that, and that'll catch that, and then it'll create the correct stitch. Okay, so I have trimmed this part of the sock that's going to be the shirt, because the shirt really doesn't need to be any longer than this. And then I have cut the two strips from the bottom of that part of the sock, and I am put the right sides together. Okay, and then tie it off as you do, as you've done before. Okay, so now you have the two strips sewn together. Now I'm going to gather this. Put the right sides together, the side that you've gathered. Okay, so you want it to be gathered in such a way that the center sock, this part, is not all wrinkled and squished, but that all of the other areas of the gathered sock are. Okay, now you can pin this around. Okay, you can also use a basting stitch and just kind of baste it onto the sock. I'm going to show you how to do that. Pins you would just, pin periodically. So I want enough extra fabric so I can actually seam these two edges. Okay, you want to try to keep these two edges of the fabric even. Now, because this is pretty much a white sock, we're going to use some white thread. And I'm just going to stitch around these two edges, just like I have shown you before, and adhere those two together. And while I'm working on the skirt, I'm also going to add the little turtleneck. Okay, and because one side is already seamed, that's going to be my finished edge, and I'm going to stitch this side with the rest of the little shirt. Okay, and how I'm going to do that, you want to put the right sides together. Okay, so I'm going to turn the sock inside out. The little turtleneck is right side out, and then I'm going to insert this on the inside so that the two right sides are together. Okay, and then I'm going to stitch these two all the way around, just like I did in the other for the skirt. Okay, and once again I'm going to just use white thread because the sock is fairly light and it'll just kind of blend in. Okay, so I have finished the little pants and the little dress. And now I'm going to work on the hands and the sleeves. Okay, and I'm actually going to just sew the sleeves and the arms directly onto the little outfit, just because I'm not going to have this little stuffed animal so that you take the clothes off and dress it differently. The clothes are just going to be part of the little character. First thing I'm going to do is draw two hands on this fabric. Okay, and then I'm going to stitch around these, leaving an opening at this end. And then I've been trying to decide whether I want the rainbow sleeves or just some white sleeves. I think we'll go ahead and stick with the rainbow sleeves. What I'm going to do with these is I'm going to turn them inside out, and I could hem these a little bit so that the edge would be finished, but I actually don't think I'm going to. So I'm just going to sew these the same way that I did before. Okay, so once you've sewn the sleeves and sewn the hands, now we're going to put them together. I'm leaving the sleeves turned inside out. I've turned the hands right side out. I have my fingers inside the sleeve to kind of keep myself from sewing through both layers of the sleeve, and I'm going to start attaching the hand. Okay, and then I'm going to leave the string long for now. Okay, now I'm going to turn the sleeve inside or right side out. Okay, and then I'm folding the fabric into itself at kind of an angle. Now you can pin this, or you can kind of stitch it on. You don't have to tie any knots. You're just kind of trying to, and then you can reuse that thread.